I thought he said we were coming to Church's Chicken and something about Modelo's, but I apologize, Modesto, and I'm very happy to be here. This kind of reminds me of the church where I started back when I was a teenager. I had this really good friend of mine. Her name was Brenda, bless her heart. She always would be like, come on, Abraham, let's go to church. And you know, when you're a teenager, last thing you want to do is go to church, right? And I commend all you teenagers that are in here, by the way. You guys are great, you're on the right path. I learned a lot. So she would come, you know, the bus would pull up and, you know, I'd be running. I'd be like, oh, here comes Jesus. Come on, man, I don't want to go to church. But good thing I listened because I learned a lot of great stuff. And when I was 17, I was in church and I heard a voice or something tell me, write a song. And I was like, write a song, okay. So I wrote a song and I felt like, you know, I was going to perform this song in front of people. And which we did. We actually had, if you guys remember, a band called Black Sabbath. One of the lead singers from that band came to our church, and he had his own church TV station on TV and Trinity Broadcasting Network. So we went on his TV show, and you know, we performed our song and whatnot, you know, and our pastor was there and whatnot, and a lot of great things came out of this. Our pastor actually found out that he had a son that he didn't know about years later, and it reminded me of that one TV show, Maury, when they were like, Pastor, you are the father. And it was great. I mean, you know, he already was married, had another baby. We accepted him, and he looked just like him. We were like, Pastor, that's your son, Pastor. So I'm glad I was obedient to that. So I want to apologize to all of you that thought that I was usher or the deacon here and was asking me where to sit. I'm new here. So when I heard that we're coming to Modesto, I was like, well, what is there to do in Modesto? So I Googled it and I found nothing. So prior to coming here, we surveyed 100 people and said, hey, what is the number one thing to do in Modesto? And you guys are going to be surprised. The number 3 answer was go into the next town and go cow tipping. I'm ready. Okay, so number 2 answer was go back where you came from. And you guys guessed it right. The number 1 answer, what to do in Modesto is nothing. Which is what we're going to do when we leave from here, nothing. Unless somebody invites us to a prayer meeting after this. All right. So I just want to put it out there, guys. If anybody should need a narc, I know a guy. Okay. All right. Also, I wanted to give you guys a message. You guys know how Moses made his tea, right? Just like you and I, he brews it. You guys know how to make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. All right. So I live in Los Angeles, right? And I live in this place called Angelino Heights. And it's called Angelino Heights for a reason. Your house, there's a lot of hills. You know, and I actually came from Ontario, which is a little bit like Modesto. Everything is just flatlands, right? So I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, and I'd do an 8-12 hour shift from work, and I'd be going home, and I would get to that hill to get up to my place, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to work. I'm going to see if there's overtime. I mean, there's just so many hills. There's so many hills that when I walk out in the morning, it's foggy. And this particular morning, I stepped out, and it was really foggy, and I tried to hug the fog, and I missed. Yes. So, how are you guys doing tonight? You know what? Actually, you know what? I was thinking there is one thing to do in Modesto, and that's come to church and fellowship. And I just want to say it's awesome that you guys are doing this on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? It's really good to be here. Like I said, I'm from Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles, I live in the downtown area, Angelino Heights, and there's a lot of homelessness, you know, and well, I volunteer. Aside from my 9 to 5, I volunteer. I'm actually a facility manager at the Los Angeles Union Station, if you guys are familiar. Well, Los Angeles Union Station in downtown Los Angeles is rampant with homelessness. So I volunteer at this nonprofit organization called Monday Night Mission. And what it is we get together Monday through Friday, and we make sandwiches, PB&J sandwiches, and we go out into Skid Row, one of the most dangerous, most violent places in the downtown area. So you would be surprised. We actually make PB&J sandwiches, and some of these people, I mean, you'd be surprised, even though they're homeless, you know, they're really picky. Sometimes we make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and they're like, well, I don't want that. Where's the meat at? And we're like, oh, come on, brother. Anyhow, downtown Los Angeles, there's things in Los Angeles that you see there you will not see any other place, let me tell you. So, like I was saying, I'm a facility manager for the Los Angeles Union Station parking. And as you know, nobody likes to pay for parking. And I have this niece that's staying with me, and she has 2 daughters. And we just enrolled the youngest baby. Her name is Sadie. We just enrolled her in school. You know, she goes to this, I live close to Chinatown, so she goes to this preschool with nothing but Asian little kids, right? Which is cool, nothing wrong with that, you know? So she cries every morning, and we're like, Mija, why are you crying? She's like, Dios, because I have to take a nap. And I'm like, no, Mija, it's okay. You don't see me crying when I get up to go to work in the morning. You don't see me crying, but I take a nap. Dios takes a nap at work. You don't have to cry, it's okay. You can take a nap. So the other day, we get a phone call from the principal of the preschool. Apparently, you know, my niece, she just hates taking a nap. So we get a phone call, and they're like, yeah, Mr. Boche, we had to call the preschool police on your niece because it was nap time and she was resisting arrest. I'm telling you, only in Los Angeles. So, you guys know that song, you know, it's one of, you know, I don't know, you guys have music over here, I'm sure you do in Modesto, but there's a song in Los Angeles that goes something like, we started from the bottom, now we're here. You know, well, I have a new version of it, and it goes something like this, and some of you might relate. It goes something like, we started from the border, now we're here. We started from the border, now my whole family's here. You know what I'm saying? We get that phone call, hey, we have your tío here at the Denny's, you come pick him up, you know, the pollitos here. So, well, me and my older sister, when we were younger, my dad had crossed the border, you know, to come live with his new wife, you know, my stepmom, beautiful stepmom, and he was like, well, I'll go over there if I can bring my 2 oldest kids. And we were a family of 6 kids, so the rest had to stay behind for the time being. So me and my sister, we had to flip a coin onto who was going to come across in the vehicle and who was going to run through the freeway. So guess who got the tails? I had to run through the freeway. But the thing about my sister, her having to come in the vehicle was that she had to use my stepbrother's, you know, papers. You know, there's no immigration here, right? Okay, she had to use my stepbrother Oscar's papers. So she was like 9 years old, I was like 8 years old, and you know, they had to shave her hair and put a cap on her and make her look like a boy. Well, you know, that was just right up my alley. I was loving. I was like, Federico. You know, I was like Juanito. I was calling every name. You know, just making fun of my sisters. That's what brothers and sisters do, right? So the thing is, she gets to the border, right? And the border patrol is like, she's like 9 years old. He's like, hi, excuse me, little boy, what's your name? And my sister looks at him. She goes, Oscar. Yes. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm a facility manager at the Los Angeles Union Station for the parking, and as you know, we get all these disgruntled people not wanting to pay parking because, I mean, for an hour you pay for parking and you pay $14 for like 2 hours of parking, right? So I had this employee that was just tired of working there, and I'm like, man, bro, why don't you just quit? And he just was waiting for us to fire him. So it came the day that he cussed out my supervisor, he cussed out a patron, and then he cussed me out. He called me every name in the book but the child of God. So I'm like, okay, this is it. What are you going to do next? I have to let you go. So came the day where I was going to fire him, and you know, as you know, when you get fired, you have your last check, right? So I had his last check, and he was just cussing up a storm. I'm like, bro, why are you so mad? It's not payday. You have your final check. You probably have more money in your pocket than I have in mine now. You know, why don't we go out and get something to eat? You pay. All right, ladies and gentlemen.